Welcome back to the workbench. Today I'm taking a look at this Revell Tornado GR Mark 1 in 1 to 144th scale. Join me as I take a look inside the box and find out what's included in this kit. Hi, I'm Matt and you're watching Model Minutes. Before I start the video, a quick shout out to my patron. From as little as $1 a month you can help support the channel and gain access to exclusive perks and early access content. Thanks for your support. So today I'm taking a look at this Revell Tornado GR Mark 1 in 1 to 144th scale. This was by popular request from my previous video featuring the Academy kit of the same aircraft. Just a little warning, I've had this one in the stash for a number of years, probably over at least 5 years now, so I have actually had some of the parts off the sprue when we get inside the box. But before we get into that, let's take a look at the outside of the box. The outside of the box features a well-drawn image of the Tornado in a catchy colour scheme, and that's initially what caught my eye when I saw it in the shop. Flipping the box over, you can see a selection of different models which are present in the range, and also information about the skill system. The sides of the box feature health and safety information in different languages, and on this side feature information about the actual Tornado and the colours that will be required to complete the model. So let's take a look inside the box. Seeing as I've already got the sprues out, I'll take a look at these first. Now originally these parts would have come in a bag, but the bag has long since been thrown away. You can see that I've already removed some of the parts from the sprue as I was test fitting these some years ago and was quite interested in the moving wing joints and was trying them out. So you get 5 little sprues, 4 of which are moulded in grey plastic, and 1 which features the cockpit canopy and is clear. The cockpit canopy seems to be well moulded and is crystal clear with no flash beam present. What's interesting to note is that the explosive fuse for when they eject from the aircraft seems to be represented on the top of the canopy. The rest of the components are well moulded and don't feature any flash. The detail is represented by recessed panel lines throughout. I quite like this kit because it's got a good selection of munitions present. Just like the Academy kit, no pilot is included, but it does feature a more detailed cockpit interior. The wheels also seem to be better moulded. On these sprues you'll find more armament for the aircraft, and again these are quite well moulded too. The main body of the aircraft comes in a number of pieces, and as you can see the details are represented by raised areas and recessed panel lines. What I would like to show you before I put this away is the manner in which the wings swivel. So the reason I had this out a little while ago was to see how these actually fitted together. And I believe that the Academy kit actually has a very similar method of this in operation. The wings slot into their little holes in the lower fuselage part of the aircraft. And you have to make sure that they line up with this sort of cog system, just like that. Now the top part of the fuselage can be added on top. You can see that I still need to clean up the bits where they're attached to the tabs of the sprue. And here you can see the wings operating. No, not that one. They must have come misaligned. There we go. Right, so try again. You can see that the wings operate in unison as if they were being used during flight. So that's for high speed, and that's for low speed. What's also interesting in comparison to the Academy kit was that this part was all one, that the nose and the top part of the fuselage was all one part moulding, where there actually come in a number of parts on this kit. As is normal from Revell, you get a safety warning sheet, which is again printed in multiple languages. On the front page, you'll find a black and white image, which is a duplicate of the one on the box. Multilingual information about the actual Tornado GR Mark I is present on this page as well. Turning over, you get various hints and tips, safety warnings, and a key to the different symbols used throughout the steps of the construction. The paints required for this kit are marked here and feature the very annoying but familiar system that Revell chose to use, which is to denote each individual paint with a letter rather than the actual paint number. So what I tend to do is go through the model and write down what the paint numbers are rather than using the letter system, as I find I keep flicking backwards and forwards. At the top of the sheet we get a sprue map, which is quite handy in case, just like me, you've already taken some of the bits off and have forgotten which numbers they were. Progressing through the steps, you can see that the steps are well detailed, and as I was talking about the cockpit, there's quite a lot of things going on in there, and each different part is annotated in a different colour as well. Decals are required for the cockpit too, so this is going to be a surprisingly detailed model for the size. Progressing on down, you can see that we're adding the fuselage and the wings to the model. Turning over the page, again adding more and more parts which are quite clearly marked, but there is an option here to have the refueling probe either stowed or extended, which I quite like. I think that's a pretty interesting little addition. So you could potentially add this into a diorama where it's doing some mid-air refueling. The last few steps are all the different kinds of munitions that you can add to the aircraft. I don't believe you can add all of them, but you sort of have to pick the different selections. So if you look here at 26 and 27, they've got different munitions displayed on the pictures. Cool. And on the last page is the painting and decal placement instructions. And again, these are well detailed, but unfortunately they're in black and white. Black and white makes it very difficult to determine which colour you should actually be painting in, because the only way you can tell is by looking at the two different shades of grey, and by my eye they don't look that dissimilar, so this would probably lead into making some mistakes. A small sheet of decals is included, but the fact that this sheet is small hides the incredible number of decals that are actually present. As you can see down here, we were hitting numbers like 47, 48, 50, 51. There's 51, 55 decals on here that I can see. That seems to be an incredible amount of decals for a 1 to 144th scale model, particularly seeing as the Academy version only had about 5. What's also interesting to note is these coloured areas on the wings here, and that will make for a very interesting model. So, in conclusion, you get a couple of sprues with some very well moulded parts, some interesting decals, and there's a surprising amount of them, instructions which are up to the normal standard of Revell, but do have their failings. So, in conclusion, what do I think of this kit? I actually think it's a really good kit. I think it's got really good detail, and compared to the Academy kit, I think it's actually slightly better. Primarily for the reasons that it's got better detail and more decals. That being said, it does seem to be a bit of a complicated kit to build due to the fact that it has got a lot of decals and the painting instructions aren't particularly clear. In the Academy kit it was all one colour, whereas in this one you've got a variety of colours, but they're not particularly marked on the instructions very well. At the end of the day though, this is something that I am looking forward to building, and I hope I can do it justice. If you'd like to see me build this kit, make sure you put a comment down below. And also don't forget that I'm interested in any other suggestions you might have for videos or kits that you'd like to see on my channel. All that's left to say is thanks for watching, and I'll see you all on the workbench again next time.